Good evening. We begin tonight outside police headquarters with yet another allegation that a Toronto officer has beaten a young black man, and despite his injuries, the SIU was not called in to investigate. It is the second time this summer that the SIU has laid a charge against an officer after being alerted by the lawyer, not the force. The young black man in this latest incident is speaking out tonight. He has asked us to hide his identity because he is afraid of retribution.
It's haunting, you know what I mean? It's not really something, I don't know. It's a lot of emotions. I just try to keep it, you know what I mean, all together, you know what I mean? Keep strong, you know what I mean, mentally, but I mean, it's been a very rough.
These photos show the injuries this 25-year-old man sustained, allegedly at the hands of police. He says he was coming out of his North York apartment just after midnight, November 2015, and when he got in a cab, it was suddenly approached by police. They told him they were looking for a suspect who fired shots in the area, and when he couldn't provide ID, he says they dragged him from the taxi and put him in a headlock.
How did you get the contusions on your head?
I was then kneed in my back, in which I fell face first on the concrete, then assaulted by the officers, in which the named officer was kicking my head.
The young man claims he drifted in and out of consciousness after that, and they only released him when his mother came and provided ID. He was never charged. The SIU, the watchdog agency that is supposed to be alerted when a civilian is seriously injured by an officer, was never called, even though an ambulance took him to hospital and he was diagnosed with a concussion and required crutches for a knee injury. An investigation was launched by the SIU and OPRID, another police watchdog, only after his lawyers from the African Canadian Legal Clinic alerted them.
The police are clearly not following their obligations and not abiding by their obligations under the Police Services Act.
This is the second time this summer the SIU has laid charges against a Toronto police officer after lawyers, not police, notified them. Michael Theriault was charged last month in the beating of Devonte Miller in Durham. His family says he will permanently lose the sight in his eye. This man's physical injuries aren't as severe, but his emotional ones are. He says he is still dealing with panic attacks and nightmares.
It's a feeling you can't explain because I wouldn't know how to say it. Like, I would say like helplessness. Since that day till now, I can't explain the emotions really. It's just a lot of sadness, a lot of pain, you know what I mean, a lot of suffering.
Now, the young man's lawyers say he does not have a criminal record, has never been in trouble with the law before, and that they will be launching a civil action as well as a human rights complaint. Now, at this point, this is definitely a one-sided story. We've been trying for 2 days to get some sort of a statement from police. The chief tonight has said that he will not be commenting because the matter is before the courts. And coming up, we'll be speaking with Devonte Miller's lawyer about both of these troubling cases.